All right, Guitar for the Practicing Musician, March 1990. Joe Cetriani, Michael Wilton from Queensryche. Of course, Joe Cetriani from Joe Cetriani. 1990, so you feel it coming. You know, Nirvana's coming. It's right at the end of the glory years there. A new decade. We got the Reader's Choice Awards in here. Let's take a look. Geez, it sounds like I live at the docks. Man. Bells and all kinds of activity out here. Sorry about that. Anyhow, the ever-present Mike Varney Shrapnel albums. Comanche. Does anyone have one of those? That is wild. Yeah. Never took off. Huh. Young Metallica, Jeff Healey. Jeff Healey's one of the guys that totally got me excited about guitar. Roadhouse and Crossroads, those two movies. I think that's spoilers. Spoilers in the next month. We gotta skip past that. This is where they put the Reader's Choice Awards in this tiny little thing. They didn't even give it a page. What the heck? All right, here we go. Metal God in Waiting, winner, Reb Beach. All right, Reader's Choice Awards. Metal God in Waiting, Reb Beach wins over Zakk Wylde. Cetriani beats out his student, Kirk Hammett. Stevie Ray Vaughan over Jeff Healey. Lita Ford beats out Jennifer Batten for Female Guitarist of the Year. Man on Bass, Billy Sheehan over Stu Hamm. Songwriter of the Year, Queensryche over Bon Jovi. This is Queensryche had their heyday there for those two albums. Songwriter of the Year, no, that's what I just said. Comeback of the Year, Rolling Stones and over The Who. That's a weird one. New Band of the Year. It really, Comeback of the Year, I don't know, the Stones didn't really come back, unless you're just counting touring. And then did they ever leave? It's not like the Stones and The Who had hits when they came back. Like after the 80s, that was it. They're like mid-early 80s. Aerosmith is the king of the comebacks, where they actually went on top. Anyway, moving on. New Band of the Year, Skid Row over Mr. Big. Outside Corner, Edie Brickell over Love and Rockets. And Justice for All over Beast from the East. That holds up, I think. I like And Justice for All. It's maybe my favorite Metallica album. Hall of Fame, Jeff Beck. Solo of the Year. One, Kirk Hammett. To be fair, one of the best Kirk Hammett solos. I said Kirk soloed his butt off on And Justice for All. He was amazing. The whole thing. These guys were destroying it. And if you listen online for the enhanced bass version, it holds up really in like a modern way too. It's great. Cult of Personality, controversial, number 2. Addicted to That Rush, Paul Gilbert Shred Mania. Mr. Scary Live, 17. That should be higher. That solo's sick. Oh, Little Fighter. Also insanely good. Headed for Heartbreak. To Live is to Die. You look at 2 Kirk Hammett solos and Ice Nine. That is, man, such good stuff there. So they've got this weird Reader's Choice of best music dealers, clubs, and rock stations. All right, let's look at the dealers. On the East Coast, Sam Ash, House of Guitars, Manny's, that's a famous one. Pianos and Stuff in Pittsburgh, okay. Central, Guitar Center, Guitar Exchange, St. Charles Guitar Exchange. Canute Coop, Making Music, that's cool. South Thoroughbred Music, Reliable Music, Ace Music, Rhythm City, Morales music, I don't really know. I've heard of Thoroughbred music from the ads. I bet Rhythm City, is that still around? In the West, Hollywood Guitar Center, still there, big. Apple Music in Portland, I don't know. Makers Music, Milano Music, American Music. No Sweetwater Anywhere. I wonder if they were around yet. And then radio stations, it was KLOS and KNAC in LA. I don't know any of the others, really. Weird. It's a weird thing to have a reader's choice for, though. Billy. Nice collection of Mesa stuff. It's like $100,000 worth of Mesa gear on the current reverb market. I've never heard one of these Carvin preamps. I wonder how they hold up, if it's like the X100B. Oh, incredibly tube-like distortion, so that's probably solid state. Lita Ford. That bass is hideous. Oof. A friend of mine took guitar lessons from Jamie Glazier, and we went to go see Jean-Luc Ponty, and we had never heard of Jean-Luc Ponty. And we were joking, like, what if this Jean-Luc Ponty guy, like, plays flute or violin? Turns out, Jean-Luc Ponty plays violin. You know? And it was all right. It's fine. And then Jamie had on stage, he had an Ibanez and a Fender Strat. And he never picked up the Ibanez, and we were like, pfft, this is bull. Who cares about a Strat? Why would he leave the Ibanez sitting there? Good tabs on this one. Close My Eyes Forever. The solo on this is awesome. The tone is just like, I wonder what she used. Does it say? Because I think it's Lita playing that. She did in the video. The solo section, no, they don't even mention it, but it's got that harmonizer and stuff. I think it's a harmonizer, not just a play part, but it sounds great. Look into Metallica. Short of Straw. It's a pretty great one. You know, it's like, this was some heavy stuff, and like at the time, like Metallica was tough to play, and now you go like, oh, pretty much every Metallica song's pretty easy to play, compared to like if you're gonna try and play some like Jason Richardson metal or something like that, it's like near impossible. That was pretty cool that they had a Joe Satriani article every week. Then he put out a book that was a compilation of all of them. I Don't Believe in Love. Classic Mind Crime tune. One of the best metal albums ever. It's like take everything that was great about Iron Maiden and maybe a touch of Pink Floyd, because then they went way Pink Floyd on the Empire album, which is great. And it's amazing. Oh, yes. The beret. Back in the day, I didn't really look twice at the beret. Now I look at it and go, But Chris DeGarmo, I think, is one of the best metal players. He's so high up on my list. I don't know if you could say he's underrated, because I think any Queensryche fan would feel that way. And once he left, it was like, kind of neutered the band. This is the worst backdrop for an article ever. You can't even read this. No one bothered to look. And it's not to take anything away from Michael Wilton, because he is great too. He was just like, I felt like he was the metal guy, and Chris DeGarmo was the, like, all of the other cool sauce. But Wilton has some great moments. And then Jeff Tate. There you go. It's a nice sweater. Now, this leather hat, I always thought was awesome. Like Richie Sambora with his little cowboy hat thing, and Chris DeGarmo with his little kind of, I don't know what that is. It's like a European Spaniard hat or Argentinian hat or something. I was into that. Does it hold up? I don't think so. Blues Saraceno. His albums are great. It's funny. So this is the guitar for the Practicing Musician. He was on their label. And so he was in Guitar for the Practicing Musician a lot. No other magazine would touch him. You never see him in Guitar World or any of those. Guitar. They're like, forget that. Oh, this is right before Satch. Okay, Joe Cetriani went on tour with Mick Jagger. How wild is that? That is really... I've never seen any clips from it or anything, but I can't imagine that really was the best blend. Oh, maybe it worked. Who knows? Did any of you guys see that tour? Oh, it was with Simon Phillips and Doug Wimbish. Dang. All right, well, maybe it did, because that's a pretty modern-sounding rhythm section. Fusion modern. He used his Strat a bunch. Oh, and so this was also like Flying in a Blue Dream zone. So he was using these. So I think before his signature model, it was called the Radius 540, and then they became the Joe Satriani signature model. But that roundy sort of bubbly guitar was something from their product line. Old Marshalls, Jazz Chorus, Boss Distortion, Chandler Tube Driver. Rockman, Boogie, Marshall Fender. I don't know if up until The Extremist, Joe's tone was, I mean, it worked. It was just Rockman-y. What we got here? Moving through. The hilarious sound effects. You know, everyone is exactly the same. Distortion, chorus. Oh, they have an EQ here. That's a little different. To get that sort of like nasal thing he was doing, but like, what are you plugging into? It's like setting you up for failure. Stones. All right. Come on. Oh, I see this. Here it comes. Part 3 of a 3-part poster. So they just gave you a page. You're supposed to tape it together when you get all the pages. But look at this. I want this guitar so bad. It's so cool. I'm gonna have to resort to buying a regular 7-string and having it custom finished. Like the almost, yeah, the tremolo version is the Sean Lane guitar. I had a chance to buy one of these for like $900 one day. I was like, man, do I really need? And then someone else bought it, and then right after that I was like, oh, I'm so stupid, should have bought it. Oh, giant. All right, what do they say? Well oiled. Pop metal, precisely delivered. All right, so I thought they were going to rip it, but guitarist Dan Huff and keyboardist Alan Pasqua are familiar names in the hard rock world. Yeah, you know, Alan Pasqua is a genius, like, jazz piano player. Unreal. Like, he's so far beyond what they ended up using him for, which is just sort of like background keys, kind of. He's amazing. Go listen to his jazz stuff. It's accessible and amazing. But having grown tired of playing for others and the money-grubbing success of metal's kid bands, Huff and Pasqua joined forces in Giant. All right. It's a muscular, crunching sound so smoothly executed it almost is too generic. Huff handles both singing and soloing with a workman's grace, belting out love songs with enthusiasm, jiggling through solos effortlessly and with flair, but with much character. He's a flawless guitar player, which explains his demand as a session man, and his skills provide Giant's full-bodied melodies with enough goosing to capture your attention. Oh, yes. Yes. All right. Well, we're coming to a close here. It's not a good hair day there. Maybe that's why he went with the hats. They're talking about writing. Here they're talking about going in and recording mine. Here they're talking about going back into the studio and recording Empire. This is cool. It was after they went on the road with Metallica. Then they came back. We started really communicating on what we wanted to do, and the songs were coming along. The writing had a real positive feeling to it. It's nothing you can predict. It sort of just happens. We're looking at going into the studio in about 6 weeks. I have a small idea how things are going to come together, but it's kind of nice for it to be a surprise. Like, wow, really turned out to be more than I expected. That's cool. Empire is one of my favorite albums. It sounds so good, too. It's like both of the guys were using these huge Bradshaw racks. What do we got here? Ken Smith bass. What's happening? Oh, wow! Dear readers, it's been brought to our attention that the full-page ad that ran on page 40 of our February issue, and which runs again in March, has been viewed by various segments of our readership as offensive. Oh, it got fully Me Too'd. The packs are devoted to portraying rock music in a positive light. So they stapled someone went through and stapled every single one. All right, here it goes. I'm going to get banned. Oh, boy. Oh, that's a bit. Just gonna put this back. Edie Brickell. Yes, here we go. What I Am, one of my favorite songs. And the solo on that's just tasty. What do you use? Music Man 100-watt combos, 112s. I've never seen these come onto the used market. I wonder how many they put out. That'd be kind of cool to have. There you go. All right. Another one bites the dust. See y'all later.